The days of Ramadan allow us to spend time with family and friends, mend bridges that may have been broken, and refresh our souls through ibadah. I greet you in the name of God Almighty. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this week's An Nur the Light. We traverse the length and breadth of this beautiful country in search of stories of hope, inspiration, and motivation. Let's start off in Huu Teng, where we met a person who fits our story criteria in all ways and more.
Architectural technologist, community worker and successful businesswoman Rabia Kasim is a well-known individual in Lodium. Her business, established in 1990, was created as a result of many challenges Rabia faced when starting out in the industry.
Nest Designs is basically my company. I started it in 1990. Very soon after qualifying as a draftsperson. In those days, it was called draftspeople and not architectural technologists. I did my internship, and with internship passing, there's a limited scope of work that's available as an employee, and it was not enough for me. It was not fulfilling for me. I needed to be more involved in the projects. I wanted to make the decisions myself, and I wanted control over the work that I was doing, with the result that I registered my company called Finesse Designs. Usually when we're designing a home, the first thing that we start off with is the client's lifestyle. Definitely the client's lifestyle, because that person, that family is going to live in that home, and the home has to work around the family and not the other way around. So their lifestyle, if they entertain a lot, so we want a lot of entertainment areas. The other aspect that we consider, yes, energy efficiency is a crazy buzzword today, but it's very important. If a client lives in a home where the electricity costs are low, it becomes more sustainable and more pleasurable for them.
Rabia can be seen on building sites throughout the area on most days, and the respect she has gained from both men and women in the field is unmatched.
As a Muslim woman in a highly male-dominated industry, and when I say male-dominated, it doesn't necessarily mean discrimination. I think it's just the nature of the work. When I go onto site, I am the only woman on site. I haven't met or had an application from a female plumber or a female electrician or a bricklayer, or a guy that does the ceilings for me. So it's not specifically a discrimination. It's just the nature of the work. It's physical strength that is required on a building site. And at first, I think I was met with a little bit of cynicism, but you've got to prove yourself. I think in every walk of life, it is a little bit more difficult for a woman, definitely, because there's a stereotypical view of what women are able to do. But if you teach them something, and very often I find they're doing something incorrectly, and once I've taught them to do something correctly and effectively and make their lives easier, there is a lot of respect. And then they start, treating you very differently. And I think that respect is earned in every environment, not only in the building industry. So today, if I walk on site, they know me, they're familiar with me, and they'll actually call me if they have a problem on the site.
On days when Rabia is not seen on construction sites and in her drawing room, she can be found chairing the Lodium Care Service for the Aged.
About 3-4 years ago, I was approached by Adila Sunka, who is the director of a number of charitable organizations in Lodium. There was a position available on their board for Lodium Care Services for the Aged. And I was approached, if I could serve the board, if I could have some input in the guiding of the organization. At that time, yes, I think it was a natural thing. One lives in the community, and it's only natural that we serve the people that have brought us to where we are today. And I started off as a board member, progressed to be a vice chairperson, And about 3 years ago, I was nominated and elected to be chairperson of Laudium Care Services for the Aged.
Rabia Kassim's contribution as chairperson and as member of the board is unique in a sense that she has brought a corporate culture, introduced a corporate culture into our organization in streamlining a lot of the administrative procedures. And I think the board has really grown more professionally. And in terms of our outreach programs and involving the community and the business fraternity, her approach has been highly professional, placing the care services of our association on a very professional platform.
It doesn't just stop there. Rabia holds an honours in psychology and is currently completing a master's in business administration.
At this stage of my life, I think I'm sort of nearing a retirement age almost, but that doesn't mean that I'm ready to retire in any way. You know, fortunately, my profession will allow me to be able to draw a plan, design a plan, a home, for years to come. So I think I will continue with that, you know, for as long as I have the strength. Recently, I've noticed more and more people, younger people, looking to me for leadership, for mentorship. And I think at some point in time, I'd probably write a book, you know, to inspire, motivate other people about my experiences and how that can, you know, assist young people in achieving and being successful as people.
There is never too much that one can achieve. With a drive to succeed, Rabia continues to push herself and others, remembering to give back and to always look forward.
It is the month of the Quran, and our new tafsir segment is headed by learned and respected scholar of Islam, Qari Ziyad Patel. He will be doing the segment for this season.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance for humanity and clear proofs of guidance and criterion. Beloved viewers, we learn from this ayah of the Quran that the Quran was revealed in this month of Ramadan. Let us quickly analyze the importance of the Quran Kareem in relation to the month of Ramadan. Since the Quran was revealed in this month, the Quran is now an important feature in the month of Ramadan. And every one of us ought to connect with the Quran Kareem in this month, increase our recitation and our standing of the Holy Book in this month of Ramadan. We should also take cognizance that the Quran is not only for Muslims, it is also a book of guidance for any soul out there, irrespective of race, religion, creed, color, or geographical boundary. Any soul in search of peace, any soul in search of positivity or the everlasting truth. Ultimately, there is a message of hope for you in the Holy Quran. With the last 10 nights of Ramadan closing in very quickly, we should also remember to search for the odd night or the night of Qadr, the night of power amongst the odd nights of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. An opportune moment once again for every one of us to connect to the Quran, to increase our connection, recitation, and understanding of the Quran Kareem in these last 10 nights of Ramadan, knowing that one of these odd nights could be the night of Qadr, a night which is better than 1,000 months. Let us go out in search of the night of Qadr, the night of power. Ameen.
What a melodious recital and an apt message for the times we find ourselves in. Social media has taken over our lives in more ways than one, and we wanted to revisit this topic to give you tips about your use of it.
Social media has become much more than just an information-sharing network. It's also given rise to a host of new pastimes, such as bloggers, vloggers, style gurus, and many other users. Due to the nature of the medium, anyone can access, like, and follow their favorite topics, personalities, and trends. With over 8,000 followers, student and avid vlogger Abdul Haq has found a ready audience for his short, punchy, and mostly comic videos.
Okay, well, it started off, we were both just normal individuals on campus, but we were friends. Then we started off using social media like Twitter, Instagram. Then from there, we started individually just posting random videos. And then we were getting a few likes. We were getting quite a bit of views also on Instagram. On Twitter, we were getting quite a few retweets. And then we decided, might as well get into a partnership and start something bigger. You never know where it might lead.
It's not like we do it for the fame as such. That's not what we do it for. Personally, I think I speak on behalf of both of us. We do it for people that are having a bad day. You know, that motivation boost. If someone smiles just because of our video, that's it for me. That's what I look for.
Abdul Haq's videos are parodies that often resonate with those who follow him. He makes light of situations featuring both young and old, but keeps his humor strictly halal.
In Islam, you do have your boundaries, but there is no such a thing in Islam where you can't have fun while you're doing something that you enjoy doing. So whatever we do, we make sure we are within our limits and boundaries. But Islam also, it tells us, you know, humor, spreading smiles, all that is really permissible. And it's also advised that you should make people happy in whatever way you can. So this, we see it as spreading smile, making someone's day. And yeah, as long as we know what's our boundaries, it doesn't really affect us.
Social media is one of the fastest growing applications globally. More and more people are turning to it for news, connecting with others, or just to have fun. There are many benefits, but there's also huge risk to potential users.
I think we can understand it as a technological tool for communication. So the issue of what is good about it is the fact that effectively it enables us to communicate with, friends, family, anyone really, across internet and across, the various what you would call IT platforms. So whether you're using Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or any of the platforms, you're basically putting a message out there, you're communicating, and communication is good.
There's many benefits to social media, being out there, understanding what's happening in the world, having your fingers on the pulse. And there's also downsides. So everything has a pro and con to it, and it's how you actually use it and respect it. If you're using it for your business, it's very informative. It's helpful to get your brand out there, and it's helpful for people to actually be able to communicate with you and to be able to get information back from you regarding your brand. So in that sense, it's really helpful for small businesses, even medium and large businesses.
As with most things in life, there are certain rules to follow, and it is good to know these. The do's and don'ts are only a guideline, and common sense is what is needed to have a good online experience.
For me, I see social media the same way that I would interact with the person in face-to-face. So if you wouldn't tell them anything face-to-face, why are you putting it online? So definitely be respectful and mindful of people online. That's definitely due for me. Be aware of your surroundings. Taking a picture and posting it, you could still see a small kid in the background. Make sure that you have, full respect of that kid. Understand that you can't actually put children online without, consent and things like that. So again, very mindful of people, where you are, what kind of information you're sharing.
Style bloggers have also garnered their fair share of followers, which in turn has led to even bigger things.
With regards to social media, if I were to go back, I basically started going onto social media 2 years ago, and purely because I started my business. Initially, it was called Bespoke Hijabi by WH, and I've obviously now changed my branding, which is now called House of Bespoke by WH. I must say that social media has done great things for me in terms of increasing the awareness of my actual brand, more exposure. So I'm really, really extremely happy with the outcome that it's brought, not only personally to me, but to my business. Because it's a free platform that gives smaller businesses out there opportunities to help them market themselves and to help them grow their businesses. So I think, that's purely the reason why I started on all social media levels.
Social media offers incredible opportunities for those who are prepared to sacrifice hours hunched over their phones. It presents opportunities for connection and collaboration, but it can also be the cause of conflict. As we navigate this new world online, it's good to remember the norms our society live by and use it as a basis to inform what we post. The future will be online.
The blessed month has no sooner come than it's time to go. With this comes the day of Eid, and as we know, the lunch dish is the highlight of the day. Here's a delicious meal for those of you who still need inspiration.
Assalamu alaikum. In my home, braised steak is a firm favorite. And when you found that recipe that everybody loves, you tend to make it all the time and people get sick of it. So what I've done is I've added just a few quirks and turns to my original braised steak recipe. And to make that, you need the following ingredient. So what I start off with is 1 kilo of tenderized braised steak. I've got a punnet of mushrooms that I've sliced, and you've noticed that I've sliced it kind of thickly because you want the bite of the mushroom to still be there once you've cooked it all down. I've got 2 medium-sized onions. I've got 2 green chilies that I've just sliced open, left the seeds in, because everything just tastes so much better with chili. And then I use 2 varieties of pepper. I've got the white pepper. For me, it's got a creamier taste to it. And then I've got the pepper, which is a lot more robust and gives you sort of that burny sting at the back of your mouth. I've got oil for frying. I've got cream that we're going to add to our mixture right at the end just to give it a nice creamy sauce. I've got garlic. I've got salt to taste, and just to enrich my stew, what I do is I add beef stock. So it just adds that punchy, beefy, robust flavor at the end. So it's simple and easy to do. So we're gonna start off by heating my pan, and I'd say a medium heat. I don't braise my onions until they're nice and golden brown because it's unnecessary. So all that I do is just soften them, pop them into the oil. Almost immediately I add my steak. And once my steak is softened sufficiently, that's when I start to brown it all off. So with my onions, and to make sure that I get the maximum flavor out of my green chili, I pop these in at the same time. Because then your chili oil diffuses into the oils itself and it just flavors the entire dish. So now that my onions are just lightly sauteed, I'm gonna start by adding my beef. So I just pop these into the pan. No specific format, just very randomly, getting as much surface area covered as you can. I'm gonna add my pepper in sections. So a bit of black pepper, the white, some garlic in between, and then I'll layer up with the next layer of steak. You can layer this, you don't have to. This is just me being OCD because I want to make sure that you get maximum flavor throughout the dish, but it's really not necessary. So in goes the rest of my pepper and the balance of my white pepper. And of course, some garlic. So at this point, you'll notice I'm not adding any salt, and that's because salt actually slows down the cooking process of your meat. So I'm gonna give this a quick stir, pop the lid on, and let this just cook down for about 30 minutes. Oh, that smells good. So my steak's been braising for about 20 minutes, and what I'm gonna do now is add my beef stock that I've just added to about 1/2 cup of water. And you make sure you want all this beefy goodness to get in there. And this is why I don't bother to brown my steak, because this just makes it a nice, dark, rich, stew-like kind of sauce. And just before everything is too soft, our mushrooms. Now, if you don't have mushrooms, substitute it with any of your favorite vegetables. I wouldn't do carrots or peas or anything along those lines, but it works really well with baby marrows. Even just adding in fresh spinach, letting that wilt down with your cream is really delish. So it's a nice way to get your veggies in. Also, I suppose, meat into veg. Give this a quick stir, and again, I'm not adding any additional moisture because the mushrooms, again, bleed its own moisture. On with the lid and let this go for another 10 minutes until it's all soft. And lastly, we add our cream. And I think we're just about there. The beef is a lovely, rich color, and this is why I said don't add the salt. Beef stock in itself is quite salty, so the best way to do this is a taste test. And it needs just a hint more salt, but before I add that, the cream. And my final touch, just a pinch of salt. So all that this needs now is some yellow rice, or mashed potatoes, or even noodles if you prefer. But all I want right now is some yellow rice and a fork. And there we have it. Braised steak, better than you've ever had it before. So until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
The last few days of Ramadan are with us. And as always, I'd like to urge my sisters and brothers to not let it end there. Take forth the lessons learned and apply them to your daily lives. What this month shows us is that we can do more if we want. Jazakallah for tuning in week after week. Kinna Mariam Mkwanda, kiri ari bueri bonanen khape. Assalamu alaikum.